Yo, what's up? And welcome back to Let Me Geek Out for a Second, the weekly show where hopefully it's not weekly, right? I feel I want to say the last one was last week. But the weekly show where I sit here for about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes maybe, and talk about what I geeked out about last week. So recently, Season 5 of Stranger Things just came out. Volume 1 of Stranger Things just came out. Volume 1, Season 5, Volume 1 of Stranger Things. Kind of reminds me of anime. You guys remember, if we're to anime that is, Attack on Titan, and how like they just kept on finding new ways to say it's the final season. It was like the final season part 1, and then the final season part 2, and then it was like the final season part 3 volume 1. But yeah, man, the last season of Stranger Things came out. Now I am torn about making this video, but I did end up watching it. I'm not gonna reveal how I watched it. We're just going to say I watched it legally. I for sure did. This is not, I'm laughing because I'm a giggly person. But yeah, I watched volume 1 of season 5 of Stranger Things. And you know, here I have like a weird relationship with Stranger Things I'm now realizing, where I don't think I necessarily care too much about Stranger Things. Like, I don't know if this is my fault or the show's fault. I don't know who I want to blame. Hopefully you guys can't hear my fan. I'm gonna turn that off now just in case. But I'm not sure if I should blame myself or not. By the way, I'm looking at the clips that are playing right now while I'm talking. It's distracting me. It's gonna be on loop. So don't look too hard at them right now. But I don't know if it's because I just have bad memory, I guess, or if it's the fault of them taking forever with their seasons. But I can't say I'm necessarily invested in Stranger Things. How should I explain this? I do think, as much as I enjoy the show, I think just overall, I do think the purpose of TV shows has kind of been lost because of shows like Stranger Things. For example, with like The Flash, we got to give The Flash respect, even though it kind of went downhill there at the end. Like they made a they made a 20 episode season like every year. Same with The Bear. The Bear, despite it also being pretty short, I want to say The Bear's only 8 to 10 episodes. They also came out with the season every year, and this world of television, I think that is a art form, I guess, that has been lost, with people just trying to make mini movies. Is mini movies the right word? But you know what I mean, like just mini movies per episode of their quote-unquote TV show. However, on to season 5. Oh, sorry. The whole point of why I'm saying this is I like when I was watching season 5, I was like trying to remember shit that happened because I just don't have time to rewatch. Was that what that's about? Give or take, because some is shorter, some is much longer. That's about like 32 hours, right? Because it's about an hour per episode. There's 8 episodes for a season. Yeah, I just don't have that much time to rewatch the entire series before getting into season 5. I did watch like a very quick recap. I still feel like it didn't really get me back invested. To the point of spoilers, by the way, if you haven't watched season 5, volume 1 of Stranger Things, at the very end, we see Elle's sister. Now, when they revealed her, I did not remember who this girl was. when I saw that, I was like, who is this supposed to be? And I had to look it up. I was like, oh shit, yeah, that is a person. I do remember that episode now. But yeah, I think the biggest reason why I'm still watching it now is I do like a lot of the characters, funnily enough, and I kind of just want to see where they end up. Steve, Dustin, Lucas, that's pretty much it. Oh, no, I like Robin a lot. I like Robin. I think that's about it, those four. I like the other characters, but I really love those four characters. Pretty much, if I could remember the story well enough. So last season, season 4, ended with the world pretty much damn near ending after the main villain of the entire series, Vecna, what was it? Like the Upside Down was coming to the world? I don't know. I just remember the world was ending. And then this season starts with them solving it by the military essentially putting a big ass metal band-aid all across Hawkins to keep the earth from splintering, I guess. And then this season is all about, ooh, that's a lot of blood in that clip. This season was all about, at least so far, them searching for Vecna. Everyone's searching for Vecna, I guess. I think the military's searching for Vecna? I can't lie. I feel like my media literacy goes all the way down to a 0 whenever the military is involved in Stranger Things. Like that whole Russian plotline, however long ago that was, and everything to do with the military. I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. Take me back to the teens and kids. Yeah, they're essentially searching for Vecna. I think everyone's searching for Vecna. And then, classic Stranger Things style, everyone gets separated for various reasons. Hopper gets stuck in the Upside Down because the military, he was like sneaking with the military up into the Upside Down. Then they got attacked by a Demogorgon, I think. And then, actually, here's a good point. So we find out that Vecna is trying to like collect all these kids because he's trying to power himself off of naivety, right? Some shit like that. But any other way, he goes after Holly, Mike's sister, little sister, Mike's and Nancy's little sister. And man, if you could say anything about the Wheeler family, is that these people do not they do not duck no smoke. The fucking walk them down Wheelers over there. You can say whatever you want. The parents might be near divorce. The family don't look that close. Which, I mean, is the point, I guess. It is to contrast. The other family. I've got the Byer, right? The Byer family. Byer? Whatever. That they're not that close in comparison, but one thing you can't say that they're gonna dodge some smoke. Yeah, so the Demogorgon is trying to get Holly, the little sister, and then the dad fought him a little bit, and then the mom like stabbed him a little bit. They both lost horribly, but they definitely try to protect the fam. I'm trying to think, was there any, there's nothing like, oh, well, actually, no, the stuff happened. Like, again, spoilers. Will? Why am I drawing a blank on their names? Dustin, Lucas, Mike, and Will. Will, he got powers at the end. I've heard that his powers work differently than Elle, so that's, you know, a thing. And a lot of this season has been kind of exploring his sexuality while also connecting it to his powers. That's cool. Robin has been his guide through this, I guess. Which, by the way, I am hoping for more Robin and Steve friendship this season. Those are my favorite pair of best friends. Oh, Dustin and Steve are arguing a lot. Dustin's obviously still very, very depressed after the events of last season, where Eddie right? Yeah, Eddie ends up dying. Eddie, of course, he loved Eddie a lot. And he is kind of coping in not the greatest of ways. Which is resulting in him just kind of being like a dickhead. I feel like I wish I should have been like saving a lot of these arguments. There's been lots of arguments about this season of Stranger Things, just in terms of characters, and that's where, you know, I come in. I like character writing a lot, and I have opinions I want to give out. In case you didn't notice, I really feel like nothing really happened in this volume. I'm thinking about it. They were searching for Vecna. Will got powers. Vecna's trying to like get all these children from Hawkins, and they're trying to stop them. And that's pretty much the season so far. What's her name? The actress name is Sadie. Max. Max is still in a coma. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Fucking L sees her sister at the end. Okay. So in terms of the arguments people are having, our takes, I guess. Let me not say arguments. Takes people are having is how like Steve and Dustin are treating each other. I think I do think that it's just a difference of relationships. I don't necessarily feel that either of them are wrong. I feel like if unless I'm misremembering, there has been a time skip. It's been like a year, right? It's been a year since the last season and this season. And Dustin is obviously not coping very well with the death of this guy that he kind of looked up to. And Steve is like at his wit's end. He's just over Dustin right now in a loving way, but he's just over the whole, you know, self-destructive tendency he's doing. And I think people are too harsh on Steve because, first of all, I think we gotta remember that Steve, the character, is not much older than the kids, right? They have to still be teens, maybe 20. But I want to say they have to be like 19 at this point, with the kids being 16, right? Ah, fuck. I feel like I should look this up. But no, I feel like, I'm just going to say it. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. But I'm pretty sure the teens got to be 19. Maybe they're 20 at this point, but I feel like they're 19 while the kids are, I'm pretty sure, are 16 this season. So first of all, he's not that much older. And second of all, in that year, I'm pretty sure Dustin's been doing the exact same things he's doing doing the same things that we are seeing currently this season. And after a year, you're going to be tired, right? Like you're like someone that you really love doing these self-destructive tendencies, you're gonna be over it. Not in a way of like, man, stop talking to me, even though he did say that. Just in a way of like, I am at my wit's end, I'm very pissed, etc., etc. I didn't know. I think it's because I keep on clicking on the tweets, and you know how the algorithm works. This is the first time I'm really in a Stranger Things algorithm, and I didn't know there's like so many takes like this. I wasn't a big fan of Eddie most of season 4 until, wasn't that also split up in 2 or something? It was like the second half where I started liking Eddie a little bit more. But it's obvious that Eddie and Steve both mean a lot to Dustin in different ways. I definitely think Steve is more of an older brother type, while Eddie was very much a... I'm trying to say... it's like pretty much, I think Steve has given Dustin confidence in one way, while Eddie gave Dustin confidence in another. In that Eddie and Dustin are a lot alike, and Dustin and Steve are not a lot alike, if that makes sense. But yeah, what's another one? Steven and Jonathan. People, again, I guess it's the first time I'm really in the algorithm. It doesn't, I guess it shouldn't surprise me, because obviously it would be a split argument between Team Steve versus Team Jonathan in terms of Nancy. Now, I do think Steve was kind of beefing with Jonathan over Nancy. I think people who are pretending Steve is just like this fucking golden retriever type is being a little disingenuous when they were climbing up the tower. I do think Steve was trying to flex for Nancy. Now, I don't think Steve was trying to flex for Nancy later on in the episode or in the season. I can't remember. When obviously her family got, sliced and diced, and he wanted to go get her flowers. I do feel like Steve wasn't trying to beef at that very moment. So I do think Jonathan was kind of wilding a little bit. But let's not pretend that Steve wasn't trying to flex for Nancy to begin. Now, I could pick a side. Well, no, here, I'm gonna pause there, and then let's move on real quick, because we're reaching time, to Elle, Will, and Mike. I just want to say, so the biggest discussion point is Will and Mike in game versus Mike and Elle. My answer is so interesting, because in this season, Mike and Elle had this conversation and pretty much talking about what happens at the end. And he kind of explains like, yeah, man, we're just gonna go off happily ever after, and we could do that in real life too. Now, I think that's kind of a crazy thing to promise. I think that is kind of a crazy thing to promise. And now we also have Mike and Will, where Will is obviously really crushing on Mike. I was at the end of the clips where Will is very much crushing on Mike for a while now. I can't remember when it really became obvious. I've heard that it's always kind of been a thing. Is this shit gonna start back up for me? It's kind of always been a thing. There we go. Apparently it's always been a thing since season 1. Again, that was 10 years for me at this point. I don't remember that well. But apparently it's always been a thing. But I really noticed last season, obviously, because it was kind of a plot point. That's kind of a plot point again this season of Will liking Mike and, pretty much just has a crush on his best friend. He's gay, obviously. And the question is if they're going to make it canon. Now, I will talk about this first, that I just don't see it happening. I'm not gay. And I don't want people to think that this is now me promoting Mike and Elle propaganda. I just feel like, first of all, I do have a lot of gay friends, and from my understanding, they keep on telling me that there's this moment in everyone's lives when you first realize that you might be gay, where you have that crush on your super straight friend. And I find that very funny. I feel like that's what they're doing. But even if that's not what they're going for, I just don't think there's enough time. If we had apparently all these seasons of Will really realizing, his feelings about himself. Now he's finally has his guide, Robin, apparently teaching him about his feelings about himself. And we have all this build up. And where is that going to leave it for Mike? How are we getting to the point where Mike is suddenly, he stops being so fucking infatuated with Elle, has a bi-awakening, and then they get together? They could, but I feel like it would be super fucking rushed. It would be, actually, it would honestly be kind of funny to see. If I could guess, I don't think Mike and Will get together. I don't know. I want to say I don't think Mike and Elle are gonna stay together, but I kind of feel like they will. Oh man, I don't know. I can't. They could do Mike and Will. I'm having a hard time imagining it. I want to say I don't think Mike and Elle, but also I'm having a hard time imagining them not together. So I don't know. If I was a betting man, I'm going with Mike and Elle staying together. Now for Nancy, Steve, and Jonathan, I think Steve has always really liked Nancy. I do remember that even in season 1 when they were doing their like the natural high school stereotypes of jock, weirdo, the girl next door. Steve always did like Nancy. I did feel that. I think now, especially last season, this season, but this kind of shows that I really just know a lot about the characters I like. I remembered Steve's arc very clearly. Steve is my favorite character, if you guys remember. But he always did like Nancy. I definitely got that vibe. I think we're now in the place where if him and Nancy were to get together, I definitely think he wants it to be that Nancy picks him more than like more than anything really. However, me personally, I think I will pick Nancy and Jonathan stay together. Or nothing, I don't know. Because again, I feel like Nancy and Jonathan are kinda, maybe they've been building enough for the triangle. I just feel like they have not been happy. And maybe they haven't been happy with all the extra stress of the world. But that's how I feel. But I also don't like the idea of Steve going back to Nancy. So if I could be a better man, I'm gonna go with Steve and Nancy not getting together. Nancy and Jonathan getting together. Or staying together. Fuck, sorry. Or here. Nancy and Jonathan stay together, or Nancy just goes off by herself. Hopefully you guys can't hear my fucking dog. As for if anybody is going to die in season 5 of Stranger Things. So after during season 4, there was a big question of like, oh man, Steve is going to die. Steve is definitely going to die. And it was so strange to me because like I feel like the writing was on the wall that Eddie was going to die. Stranger Things has always, every single season, has always introduced the character to kill them off. Like, that's kind of like their whole MO. So it's very weirded out by that. But because of that, I was like, but I do think Steve is probably going to die in the last season, which is now the season we're on. And now that I'm thinking about it, that is interesting how they didn't really introduce a kill them off character this season. If I could pick of all the main characters, I think Steve would be the one to die. Another one is that one guy who I really don't like. Santa is what I think they call him. He can die. All the characters that actually matter. Steve probably would be the one to die, but if not him, I actually think everyone's making it out alive. Weird enough as that is. I do think I think they're gonna go the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 route and keep everyone alive. And then we're gonna end with Max and Lucas, you know, hugging it out, and then everyone else. Maybe Hopper. Now that I'm looking at the Hopper in this clip, maybe Hopper. But no, Hopper has too much of a death with. I don't know. I think everyone's gonna survive. But what do you guys think? Did you like this season of Stranger Things? What do you guys hope to see in the next volumes? What do you think fucking Mike is going to end up with? If he's going to end up with anybody. Same for Nancy. The Wheeler siblings got options. Both Wheeler siblings have options. Which option would you want them to pick? And who do you think may or may not die? Tell me down below. I'll see you guys next time. This is Chase, signing off. How about end these? Let me geek out for a second. Let me geek out for a second. It's done. I don't know. Okay, bye.